Maybe you guys want a Model 3, maybe not, but here are 10 things I hate about this Tesla Model 3. Before we get started, I just want to let you guys know that coming up with 10 things that I actually hated about this car was extremely difficult. With that being said, everything that I'm about to list is me being extremely picky, and yes, it's a bunch of first world problems. But I just wanted to make this video in case you guys are interested in purchasing a Tesla and may not know about certain things like this. Now, before we get started with everything, I just wanted to let you guys know that if you're interested in purchasing a Tesla and you want 1,000 free Supercharger miles, I'll have a link down below in the description. I know this is more of a bash video, but I just wanted to throw it in there for you guys. As everyone knows, Tesla comes with this 15-inch monitor right here. Basically, this is the control center of the vehicle. Everything is controlled through the screen right here. This is where you have climate control, open and close options for some doors, seat functions, music, you name it, it's controlled with this screen right here. I haven't had any problems with this until yesterday when the screen was completely black and I didn't really know what was going on. Now, I was able to still control the car. I was able to go forward, I was able to go backwards, switch gears and whatnot, but I wasn't able to see anything that was going on. So I couldn't see my maps, I couldn't see how fast I was driving. I tried to do a reset by holding both of the buttons on my steering wheel and it didn't reset the screen until about 5 minutes into driving. Now, during this whole period, I couldn't listen to music, I couldn't mess with the climate control, so it was extremely hot in this car and it just didn't feel right. Although everything is neatly packed in one single screen, it's cool when it works, but when it doesn't, that's where you run into some issues. The whole screen issue is going to take first place on this list. This is not in any order or anything. Coming in for the number 2 spot, the games on this thing, man. Woo! That needs some work. I feel like when you talk about Teslas, everybody always talks about the games and how you can play them at the charging stations. Now, 9.9 times out of 10, I don't even play these games, and that's just because they are so boring, guys. I mean, Asteroids, yes, it's a classic, but playing it on the screen right here is not the move. Pretty much all the games on here are either outdated or super hard to control with your finger on the screen. If I'm not mistaken, I believe there are controllers for this, but I just feel like if you're gonna have this high-tech of a car, the games need to be improved. I know this is a reach right now, but I feel like if you could connect your console to it or have console supported games like Fortnite, Call of Duty, just to play when you're at a charging station, I think that would be super cool. And again, I just wanted to reinforce that these are first world problems. This is just me being extremely critical, extremely picky on this whole system right here. I'm not messing with these games. These games are whack. I'm sorry, Elon. Number 3 on the list is going to be the windshield wipers. Now, this one wasn't too much of a reach for me. I actually don't really like how they are designed. So on any other car, if you go for the squirt option, it will squirt, of course, and then it will go in with the wiper blade after. Now, there's a slight delay, so then whatever you're squirting at can kind of get diluted before the wiper hits it. But for the Tesla, it works pretty much the opposite. So basically on this control right here, we have the squirt option, which is a button right here. When I click this, what will happen is it engages the windshield wiper first, and the squirt option lags a bit. It lags about half a second to 1 second, and if you're trying to clear some doo-doo on your windshield and you hit it with this option, bro, it smears it everywhere. Now, I just washed my car, so everything is clean, but I'm gonna show you guys what I'm talking about. Y'all will see how slow it is for it to squirt. So I'm gonna tell you when I hit the squirt button, of course it's going to engage the windshield wipers first, like I mentioned, and then you'll start seeing a little bit of water. So let me show you guys. Squirt. You see that? There's like a slight delay in it. And like I said, when this thing first goes up, it smears everything on the windshield first. And bro, I hate that. One of the main reasons it does this is because the squirters are on the actual wiper blade. So I guess when it's engaged, then it will start squirting or whatever. But on most cars, the squirt comes from the actual hood. It has little pieces on top of the hood that squirt out onto the windshield. So that's one thing that's annoying about this car. Now, another thing that I'm not too fond of has to be the Frunk setup. Keep in mind that the base price of this car without any upgrades is about $40,000. So this car right here is a pretty expensive car. One thing I gotta say is Tesla made it super easy to open the Frunk. You can either do it from the inside of your vehicle or from your phone. Now, besides this huge battery that I have in the front, I never place anything in here. I feel like if this car is capable of opening itself, it should be capable of closing itself as well. Now, I've seen some people just slam their hood, and I just don't like doing that. So what I do is I just press it down like this, but sometimes it doesn't close right away. That takes a couple of tries to make sure everything is locked. Now, the trunk right here is also an annoying point. I feel like it should have came with an automatic trunk. You're able to open it from your phone as well as the inside of the car, but when it comes stock, it's only the latch. In order to deal with this problem, I ended up installing these aftermarket struts for the trunk right here, and these will automatically open and close the trunk whenever I want. If you guys are in the Bay Area and you're looking for something like this, I do have a homie that installs it, and I'll have all of his information down below in the description. And like I said before, this is me being extremely picky, but I know that there are vehicles below this price range that offer an option like this, where the trunk will automatically close or open whenever you want it. So I feel like Tesla is slacking on this part, which is why I felt like it was necessary to install these aftermarket struts. Now, another problem with the Model 3 is that it comes with the super gloss black paneling for the middle section of the interior. Now, when I first got it, I was like, damn, this thing looks fire. Until about 5 or 10 minutes went by and I started seeing all the fingerprints. I slowly started to notice some dust buildup, and I was like, bro, we gotta change it up. So my family over at Premium Auto Styling hooked me up with a wrap that matches the outside of my car. But basically every person that I know that has a Model 3 ends up covering that center piece because it scratches easily, it shows a bunch of fingerprints, and it shows dust. So if you guys want to make your car look a lot cleaner, I would just recommend doing a wrap on it. And that's one of the annoying things that I found on this car. You have to constantly make sure it's clean. You have to constantly wipe it down if you guys want it to look nice. Tesla also used some of those same gloss black panels for the doors. Now for the driver's side, it's located where all of the window buttons are, and this area does get super dusty and super fingerprinty, so that's why that had to make the list. Now for this problem right here, I need you guys to just visualize it with me, okay? It's raining outside and you have water all over your car. What happens is the water ends up pooling up over this area right here, and if you guys open the trunk while you have water, basically the flow of the water goes like this and it goes right into your trunk. That's one thing that Tesla was lacking on, was the design of this, how water would flow this way. So this lip is not big enough to catch all of the water, obviously. The way that it angles, it just goes up and it doesn't make this drain pitch right here. Now there are some aftermarket lips that you could put on the rear windshield, but I personally don't think that they look that great. And I also think that if you're buying a $40,000 car, you shouldn't really have to worry about a bunch of water slipping and sliding into your trunk. If you guys know me, I'm not one to complain. I just felt like making this video for you guys. I wanted to get really picky with this thing because I truly love this car, alright? I wouldn't have done everything that I've done to it if I didn't like this car. I feel like we couldn't call this a video if we didn't talk about range anxiety. In a previous video, I mentioned that I lose about 50 miles. It just kind of goes away whenever I'm driving. So if the car says I have 200 miles and I end up doing a long road trip, I pretty much get about 150 miles out of it. And a lot of people were saying it's because of the modifications that I made to this vehicle. Now when I made that statement, I was talking about how the car was originally. Before I did anything to the car, I would still lose 50 miles no matter where I was going. And now, to be honest, after all of these modifications, I can't really tell a difference. I know there's a lot of things to account for. There's a lot of electronics going on, wind outside, hills, and all that stuff. I feel like if Tesla's going to give you a range, it should be able to read it a little bit more accurate. Because if you just bought this car and you see 250 miles, you might just go ahead and drive the 250 miles and you're gonna be out of luck. So I feel like Tesla needs to make it a little bit more clear and say that you're probably going to get around 200 miles when this thing says 250. We're gonna have to work with this. I'm sorry guys. This issue right here isn't specifically for the Model 3, but it's for Tesla in general, and I feel like a lot of people have the same issue. But all my Tesla owners, comment down below if you guys can relate. So you're having a good day, you're pulling up to the Supercharger station, you're ready to charge your car, and you get out and bro, there's trash literally all over the Supercharger areas. It's crazy, man. And I'm just gonna assume that a lot of people that are charging their car, they're just going through it, pulling trash out, and they just throw it out on the side. So I feel like Tesla has to fix this issue somehow, man. Like maybe install a trash can, hire somebody to pick the trash up, because bro, it's not looking good at the Tesla stations, man. Especially during these times, you see gloves, bunch of disposable masks, bottles, cans, things like that. I mean, you guys can see it for yourself. You got a Manscaped package, you got a water bottle. And to be honest with you, I don't think I've ever seen a Supercharger out here, at least in the Bay Area, that looks extremely clean with no trash that's surrounding the Superchargers. Speaking of Superchargers, this isn't relatable to me, but you guys can see on this map right here, these are all the available Superchargers in my area. Now I live in the Bay Area, so we have an abundance of Superchargers. Let's say you live in a state that's not extremely populated. You're probably gonna have problems charging your car. Now if we take a quick look at Oregon, they barely have any. Like there's some in Portland, this area right here. I'm not even sure if people live in this area, but there's barely any Superchargers there. And compare that to California, bro. There's so many more Superchargers here. If I lived anywhere else, I'm pretty sure I would find it super annoying to charge, just because the lack of Superchargers around this whole middle portion of the United States is lacking, bro. There is a bunch of Superchargers right here in California, but it's kind of spread out throughout the United States over here. I'm assuming there's gonna be more in like the New York area. Yep, you guys can see right there. more people, more chargers. That's just one thing to think about when you guys are buying a Tesla Model 3. Are you guys gonna have a place to charge it? You don't wanna be stranded on the road with 0 miles. That's the worst. Here's the last thing I'm going to leave you guys with, and it is going to be this area right here. I ended up changing this out. It basically comes with a rubber mat, very similar to this. But the one thing that sucks about it is if you're charging your phone with the cable, it kind of just sits weird, man. It's just not long enough to hold your phone properly. And there is a way where you could snake the cord up, but even then, man, the phone doesn't really sit properly. If I was driving right now, this would be all over the place. And if you want to set it down, I guess you could set it down sideways like this, but the original lip that it comes with on this little platform is not high enough to actually like keep your phone in place. So it's always going to be falling down. That's why I just kind of throw it in here, and I don't like that look at all, man. Super annoying. Not sure what they were thinking of when they did this. It should be a little bit longer, fatter lip right here to hold your phone, but that is pretty annoying, man. All right, you guys, so that's going to be it. The 10 things I hate about this Tesla Model 3. Let me know if I missed anything in the comment section down below. Like I said, I was being extremely picky for this one, and I'm not one to complain at all, all right? If I didn't like this car, I wouldn't have bought it, so obviously the positives outweighed the negatives. So with that being said, the next video is going to be 10 things I love about this Tesla Model 3. If you guys are enjoying this Tesla content, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and if you guys would like to support me in any way, check out my website, shopsoltopia.com. That's where you can find all of my merchandise that I have for sale. I appreciate you guys so much. I'll see you very soon for the next video. It's your boy Sneakerhead in the Bay. I'm out. Peace.
Blueberry, Burberry, button-up, tan skin, mixed race, buttercup, Canada weather, got a bundle up. I'm tryna work, she hit my phone, she wanna, whoa.